anything happens, we'll be able to trace it back to wherever they come from. So this is the restriction procedure. Like I said, the restriction procedure was designed to actually help capture the biodata of the producers, to identify and then to understand their competence level, and then know the right capacity and the farm size of the farm operations. And then have their commitments to practicing organic agriculture. The design of this model established us to create a foundation of traceability systems that complements the core principles of PGS. So if we see this, what we had to do was to now create a kind of like a model to see how we can actually, create a, what's it called, like a stepwise approach to having them registered. Because you understand that one of the things we have in Nigeria is that we have a lot of farmers, but in terms of having their documentations rightly captured, that is the right data, is also very challenging. And we also understand that this procedure for smallholder farmers might be very, very challenging. So what we try to introduce, we introduce a strategy to ensure that we actually got this right data done. Also the same certification process. So what we tried to do was we created a strategy, like I said, to start with a training of coordinators across the states. So what we did was to have 25 stakeholders across Nigeria from different states. We had from Nasarawa, we had from Taraba, we had from Osun State, we had from Abeokuta, we had from Oyo, we had from Imo, and we had from Lagos and Anambra. So what we did was to actually translate all of these things to them, to let them be the coordinators of the PGS structure. By so doing, whatever it is that we wanted to do, and they will be able to actually, bring the smallholder farmers together, help them understand the benefits of PGS, and how they can actually benefit from the whole structure, how they can actually live, how they can run the system independently, and then create their right marketing structure across board, whereby they are able to actually facilitate the stakeholders, the producers, and everybody coming together to actually create a very strong harmony of production. The idea was to create a system where they'll be actually independent of themselves, because we believe that one of the projections of this is to actually create a system where there's what we call the GI location, whereby every product that is being developed has a sort of connection with, has a bit of connection with the community and the produce being developed, so that we can actually know that, take for example in Osun State right now, probably our cocoa farmers are actually adding some sort of structure to their system that makes them produce a very unique kind of cocoa for organic production. So by so doing, they would own their community, they own their systems, and they own their farmers together. And what we'll be doing is just to create a verification system for everyone to actually follow. So through this, we were able to create, we've been able to register 17 groups in the space of 2 months. Each group now has a minimum of 10 members, and 25 members being the highest so far. 8 groups have been created in the Ekiti states, with a potential of 30 more, with a community capacity of over 95 hectares, and they are engaged in cocoa, yam, cassava, leafy and fruit vegetables. And the data for all of this is what we have tried to collect. Like I said, what we tried to do was to create a system where we can actually capture the right data and then match them with the right markets, to ensure that even so beforehand, we can actually verify how many producers, how many markets need how many products, and as it is. And that also translates to what we have in Osun State, and then in Akwa Ibom, in Imo State, and then Abeokuta. So we also, alongside the producers, we also know exactly what they do. And of course, like I said, these are the ones that have been registered, the ones that are in view, which are also in view of register. We have 30 more coming from the Ekiti State, 2 more groups coming from Lagos, and 2 more groups coming from Nasarawa, and 6 groups coming from Osun. And also every other state are still yet to submit their procedures. But what this means is like that in the space of 2 months, the enthusiasm, the interest has been significantly high. because of the way the people have been able to talk to them, approaching them in their right language, in their right communities, and in their right systems. And this is something that we actually believe that would actually work in harmony for them. And by this, sorry. So going forward now, what we are working on is to create a very strong advocacy system. The advocacy system is supposed to help create this awareness for organic production across the nation, which will ultimately translate to helping the farmers farmers achieve some sort of understanding. So when our producers are producing organic, they're able to actually capture the right premium price for them because they understand that they are actually doing some sort of very strong commitment in their growing process. And then, of course, alongside this development would also help us understand exact gaps in the capacity building. What we understand is this: like that. What is happening in Akwa Ibom might be quite different from what is happening in other states. So by having this structure developed, we have been able to identify what the capacity building really lies and how we can actually catch up with them. And from what we have observed so far, we can see that capacity in terms of pest management, regular farm operations is really lacking, and the farmers are really interested in finding all of these things out. And of course, access to market. As from these engagements, you can see that while some of them are actually very okay with the market, some of them are actually very looking for more markets. I'd say, for example, some of our turmeric farmers are in the midst of actually finding the right markets in the right production system. And this is also helping us build people who are actually even interested in creating value additional products. Take, for example, turmeric to form some sort of organic, what's it called, input supplies and the likes. And this is exactly what we are trying to achieve and all of that. Now, from all of these engagements, what we're trying to also do is also now give some sort of a feedback mechanism where our producers and our consumers are able to actually share knowledge and understand what is missing in things they have bought or what they lack and all of those things. And these are the information we need in terms of how we're going to review our standards. And these are one of the things we actually aim to achieve going forward. So I think based on this recent engagements, we are very optimistic, and the potential to generate more organic produce from both domestic and international markets will be very, very high. As you can see, we have also developed our lab. I am not really going straight into. Right. I'm not really going into the nitty-gritty of all the structural operations of what we have done because I believe we have discussed this over time. But of course, this is our logo. Like I said, we have developed. Just as our colleagues have said, our internal structure, the registration process also captures all the transition periods. We have a 3-year transition period. Actually, we have different colors for different transition periods. Because of the conversation here, I really didn't want us to go deep into the technical angles of all of these things. But of course, the technicalities of all of these things involved is what we have discussed with our coordinators, and our coordinators are very good at actually translating that to the producers locally. So I think this creates a summary of it all. Thank you very much for the time spent.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation, Nigeria. I want to thank all the countries for their presentation, which is 4. Yes, 4. For the presentation, it's the main